Hello. Hello, person watching. Where you going? Where you going, Gunther? Hey there. What are you doing? Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello, Sound of Ominous. Sinner Get Ready is my new album of the year, by the way. Just want to let you guys know. How are you doing, Sound of Ominous? 1 second. Let me put this in the little chargey. What's up, bud? Hey. Hi. Odd picture. I believe this is an album you made. Yeah, it is. I didn't choose that. I guess the YouTube looks like it updated. It looks like, and I was originally just going to be me going like. That's what I was posing for, but it didn't use it. It just used my banner. That's the album I made. That's still not on Spotify, even though I wanted CD Baby to put it on Spotify. It's still not on there. Oh, I'm good. What about you? I'm doing good. How about you? Oh, yeah, I already said it. You were doing good. Sinner Get Ready is my album of the year now. Don't think it will change, but who knows? Didn't think Cavalcade would be, but it did. It did. Hey, Rudy. How you doing? I'm good. What about you? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. What you guys have been up to? That new Ignota album, I don't get the hype for it. It doesn't click for me. I think it's really good. But yeah, that's it. I've just always been a really big fan of her work. Been in my mouth. I don't know what the hell it is. Been listening to Game FDM. They're pretty good. I haven't listened to them in a while though. Put them in my mouth. Okay. Been listening to Game FDM. Yeah, all right. I already read that. I just think the album is just really, really, really beautiful, but also just insanely suspenseful at the same time. And it's a very different direction from her. She's known more for doing deaf industrial things, and she did something. Now, Kristen has a very, very, very good voice, and she's good at screaming and all that stuff. But I think her softer, more folk influenced stuff is really, really good too. And I'm also a really big fan of experimental, like religious music, which is kind of what that album is. It's very religious themed. It's also quite experimental, and just I really, really love the folky elements of it, and just it kind of just doesn't sound like anything else. I think too. For sure, vocals just sound great on it. That Man Is Like a Spring Flower is such a freaking beautiful song. I love every song on it. I just think it's such a good album. And I love Cavalcade too, but I think this album's better personally. I also got into this J-pop artist called Seiko Uromori. She is very underrated, but I also like Trick but not as much. That's cool. I like some stuff by Trick. Ever listen to Steel's album, System of a Down? That is the only album I haven't listened to by them. But I actually listened to Hypnotize just a bit ago. And I've listened to some songs of Hypnotize. I never listened to it all the way through. I listened to Memorize. Mesmerize, I think, might be my second favorite they did. I would say Toxicity, then Mesmerize, and then probably System of a Down. But Field Sound's the only one I haven't listened to. But I know it's generally regarded as their weakest. Well, I guess. Or maybe you want to judge because I haven't listened to it yet. But I'll try to give it a listen. I think I heard some people, like System of a Down fans, actually trying to steal the CD or whatever when it was in shops and stuff. Because of that album title. I heard a bit of her first two albums, but I kind of hated it. But that's mainly because of the genre she did on those. The latest one is way more listenable, but it's just boring. Bores me, in my opinion. Talking about it now, by the way. Noda, I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I can see that. I can see her music not being for everyone. But I love all of the albums she did. Personally, I love them all. And she's very talented. I really love the female-led Deaf Industrial scene. And I was kind of worried about her dropping the Deaf Industrial thing, but I think this is her best. She even herself, before it was released, she even said that she says it's her favorite release that she's done. And she said that she's very, very proud of it and really excited for people to hear it. Better rank her releases, I'd say 1, Sinner Get Ready, then probably All Bitches Die, and then probably Caligula, if I had to say. Oh, did you know that Lingua Ignota is dating Alexis Marshall from Daughters? Did you know that? I think that's really cool because they're two musicians I really like. Well, I don't know if they're still together or not, but I know that they were dating, but I'm not sure if they're still together or not, but who knows. But they were dating. I don't know. I don't know. I just only know that because they post pictures together on their Instagram and they were living together, I think, or something like that. I don't know. But they look really cute together, I think. She has some really, really cool album packaging too. That's one group I forgot to mention. Has really good packaging is what was I gonna say? I don't think I mentioned Laguna actually. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say about the group has. Yeah, no, whatever. She has a good voice, though. I will say that, but I feel like her music just doesn't go anywhere. It's more of an atmosphere. I don't know, not for me, I guess. Yeah, it's okay. I know. I really like her music personally. It just I personally, for me, it always goes in a direction I do not expect. For me, I don't know. She actually used to sing. She actually used to sing like in some sort of like church thing or something like that when she was in high school or whatever. I think she sang in like this church thing at her school, and she was picked to sing because of her vocal range and her singing ability. But at the time, she didn't believe in God. She was an atheist. But I think she said recently that she has gotten interested in Roman Catholicism. So I'm not sure if she's Christian now or not, which I would imagine she is because her music is so religious, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe she's still an atheist, but maybe she just has an interest in religion but doesn't believe in it. But I just imagine that she's Christian because her music is so religious and stuff, you know. And it would make sense, but who knows. Yeah, even if she isn't, if she does believe in God or if she doesn't, I don't really care. You know, one thing I gotta say is that one thing about that one lady who's like, I don't need to get vaccinated because I'm covered in Jesus' blood. I don't know, that part always pisses me off whenever it comes in. People are stupid like that. I really want to like more neoclassical darkwave artists because they got a very vibe going. Same reason I was so disappointed with Anna von Hospital not doing anything. I like her a lot too. I like Anna von Hospital a lot as well. One group I want to check out, I haven't listened to, but I really want to check out, is called Dead Can Dance, and they're another neoclassical darkwave group. They're from Australia. But they got a very good vibe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I haven't listened to Dead Can Dance, but I want to check them out. They're a neoclassical darkwave group from Australia. I heard is really good, but I haven't listened to them. But I like neoclassical. I like Anna von Hospital quite a lot. Personally, I do. I think she's quite great. That's just my opinion, though. But I think she's pretty good. The Anna von Hospital's music kind of reminds me a little bit of I'm sorry. Okay, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Julie Cruz a little bit, even though they're different artists. So I mean, different genre, but her music kind of does the way she sings and things like that. Not sure if you know what I mean, but you should listen to Dead Can Dance first. They are fathers of the genre. Yeah, I heard they're like considered like classics in the genre. I've heard. Oh, hey, Gabe. How you doing? Ever listened to Gmail and the Straining Orders by Duff Griffiths? Yeah, I have. How are you doing, Gabe? This is someone I know from a Kick Chat group. Yeah, the Gmail and the Restraining Orders, it's probably, if I had to say, it's probably my least favorite. It's probably my least favorite release that they did, but it's also just a collage of just, it's I don't know. It was recorded back in 2015. It's basically just a collage of it's basically just a collage of like free improvisation, I guess is kind of the word. There's a lot of really glitchy elements. It does kind of go in some elements that are almost avant-prog like at some points, and there are moments I really, really like off of it. I don't think it's a bad EP. It is kind of an EP, I guess. And it's cool they released it last year. They put it on streaming. But if I were to rank it, I'd say it's my least favorite. But I think it's still pretty good. My favorite original soundtrack is the Castlevania soundtrack. I haven't listened to that, but it's probably something I would enjoy. I haven't listened to it, though. Good, I smoke, now I'm chilling. Dope stream. Thanks. Release. Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't listened to the Castlevania soundtrack, but I heard it sounds like something I'd like because I like neoclassical darkwave music quite a lot, and also I think I've heard it has some symphonic metal, which I haven't really listened to a lot of symphonic metal, but I really like mixes with, and I know that video game soundtracks often include electronic influence elements, and I really like metal fusions or extreme, like hardcore punk metal influences with electronic music, especially if it's like rave, like digital hardcore stuff like Machine Girl, and there's like Rabbit Junk and stuff like that. Didn't say it was my favorite original soundtrack. I meant it's my favorite in neoclassical darkwave. Oh, okay, my bad. What's your favorite video game soundtrack, or just soundtrack in general, if you had to say? I'm finally getting somewhere in Disco Elysium. I've been playing Mother 3 recently, by the way. I actually got into some symphonic metal recently. I like Nightwish and Arcturus. Yeah, Arcturus is great. Arcturus is actually one of the. It's founded by one of the people in Ulver, which Ulver is one of my favorite groups ever. But Arcturus is really good too. The Sham Mirrors is a absolutely fantastic album, I think. I've heard of Nightwish. I've never listened to them though, but I've heard of them. I think they're from Finland. I believe. I'm pretty sure. I think they're from Finland. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, they're from Finland. Yeah. But I really, really, absolutely love Arcturus, though. I think Arcturus is great. And they're like kind of a group that kind of mixes like electronic elements with metal, but not really a whole lot, because Over is like both an electronic and metal band, but they only combined the two genres on like one album. I'm pretty sure they only like on that themes from William James Blake or whatever it's called. I don't know. I forgot that whatever it's called. Themes from William Blake's The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. That's the only release where they actually combined metal and electronics, but their discography is really interesting. So like Over, when they first started, they were a black metal band, and they sang in not Norwegian. I thought it was Norwegian. Wait, I think they're on their first album. They sang in Danish, and then they sang in Norwegian or something. And their first album was like a black metal album. Their second was like a dark folk, and then they did black metal again. And then they went towards, and then when they released themes from William Blake's, they changed their logo. Well, not yet. They still had the same logo, my bad. But they did eventually change their logo, but they also started singing in English, and they've been singing in English since. And Themes from William Blake, which is a really underrated album, in my opinion, in discography. But that album's really long. It's like, I don't think it's 2 hours long, but somewhere. But they started singing in English, and that's when they combined electronic and metal, but just on that album. And then they started to do just electronic, but they've done all different sorts. They've done trip hop, they've done like ambient, done like industrial, but Perdition City, I think, is my favorite release they did. I think they're an absolutely fantastic group. I think they just do good in pretty much everything they do. And they've done several soundtracks. They're just one of my all-time favorites easily. All right. I'm not favorite original soundtracks are, my bad. Are Silent Hill 2. That one's great. That's a great soundtrack, a great video game too. That video game is great. That soundtrack's great. Nier, I think I listened to that soundtrack once. The Nier Automata. But I've only listened to it once, but it's so long. I think I remember enjoying it though. Persona 5, I've listened to that once before. I've never played the game, but my brother really likes that game. I've listened to the soundtrack once, but it's been a while. I have to probably listen to it again though. I'm not sure that I want listen to Enter Sandman, a cover from Weezer. I would imagine it wouldn't be good. But Weezer did that OK Human album. I thought was pretty decent though. I mean, I wouldn't think it compares to the first two records or the White Album, but I thought it was definitely better than a lot of the other stuff they did. But their covers, I don't know, maybe they have a few all right covers, but their covers could be worse, but I still don't think they're good. I actually heard of Arcturus before Over. Interesting. Because of that metal reviewer, Cover Kill Nation. Yeah, I used to watch him. I used to watch his videos. He actually mentioned that Themes from William Blake because that was one of his favorite albums. Cover Kill Nation talking about it. They are decent, but Over is a superior project. Yeah, I agree with that. Halo and Metal Gear original soundtracks. I haven't listened to either of those, but I've been meaning to listen to some of the Metal Gear soundtracks. Are great. I love Calling to the Night. Peep This Ty deleted my link. Oh crap. You can send me in on Kick, Gabe. You can send me in on Kick. I'll go listen to it, and I can. No, Automata is good, but it's a bit too mellow. You should listen to the 2010 one. It's a lot better. All right. But yeah, I used to watch him cover Kill Nation. I think he left YouTube or something, didn't he? Maybe I'm wrong, but he just, if you don't know who he is, he's a like music critic, and I think he just reviews metal albums though, I'm pretty sure. But I actually watched him back when I was like really in my new metal phase when I was a teenager and all that stuff. I mean, he reviews also classic metal albums. He doesn't just review like, he's actually generally not very doesn't have a very good opinion, like strong opinion on more mainstream metal groups like Slipknot. But all right, Nose Scent, good luck with your stream, buddy. Thank you, Gabe. Have a good night. Ever listened to Vegas by Crystal Method? I have not. I've heard of Crystal Method though. I have heard of them. I've never listened to them though. But he quit YouTube in 2020. He had heart surgery recently, so he stopped streaming for a while. Oh, that's too bad. Hope he. Is there any news on it? Did he get better? Hope so. That's too bad. I hope he. I'm not sure if he's still in it, but I hope he makes a good recovery. He is still in it. Oh, there's one person watching now. He talked about it, but I haven't watched him videos recently. Hopefully he gets better. Yeah, hopefully. Does he have Twitter? Let me see. I'm sure if he does. Let's see here. No, I don't think this is that can't. No, that's definitely not him. Yeah, I don't know where that. Maybe he doesn't have. He probably doesn't have a Twitter. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. Well. Not sure, but he has a. All right. Not sure, but he has a Facebook. I deleted mine, so I can't check. Yeah. Oh, hey, Over did a live album. That's cool. Oh, one release I've been listening to that I didn't realize they did a new release, but it's really good. Have you ever heard of a group called Nouns? They're like kind of like a Midwest, not really a Midwest emo. I guess they are kind of like an emo group. They're from Arkansas, but they mix like these like chiptune style synth punk chiptune video game sounding like stuff with their like emo music. It's really good. They released a really good album called Still Bummed in 2013. And I guess you can also maybe call them noise pop, but they did a really, really good EP this year that dropped August 9th. It's really good. I actually think it's better than Still Bummed, at least for now. I've just got done listening to it, but it's a lot more experimental and doesn't really have the noise pop, as much noise pop elements but it still has the really, really electronic influence sound on it, but it's a lot more experimental and it has some metal elements. It's really good. It's a really good release. Reminds me of New, who Nouns does, but New's good. New's good. They're a really good kraut rock group. New's pretty good. Yeah, Germany was absolutely like killing it in the 70s. The German music was absolutely like insane, like so good in the 70s. That was definitely Germany's like I guess like yeah German 70s music was so good for Germany, I think, at least. But New 75 is a really good album. That's my favorite release they did, probably. And their first album is really good too, but I think New 75 is even better than that first one. Noise pop and chiptune getting Anna Managachi vibes from that. It sounds interesting. Hold on. Anna Managachi. Group. Okay, I haven't heard of that. I'll probably check them out. They're a Nintendo core as well. I don't know. I think Nintendo core has just kind of become a staple to any group that, in some people's eyes, that combine like rock or whatever with video game music, which I don't really see as the case, because they even label Hella as a Nintendo core group, and I definitely don't consider them Nintendo core. I definitely don't. But they do. I mean, I get it. They're like a punk band, you can maybe say, that combines that. There's some elements of like chiptune and video game sounding stuff with their music, but I definitely don't consider them Nintendo core. But they're listed as a Nintendo core group on Wikipedia, which I do not consider them one. What was the name? The way you described them sounded interesting. Oh, they're called Nouns. They're called Nouns. Because I don't know, but I consider Nintendo core to be like Horse the Band, which is just like music that's like metalcore music that takes elements with video game sounding and like soundtrack sounding stuff like chiptune and stuff like that. I actually really like the sound of chiptune music. I don't think I mentioned that to you guys, but I do. But a really good Nintendo core group, if you guys want to check out some Nintendo core, is called Horse the Band, which maybe you've heard of that. But they're a really good Nintendo core group, and they're actually the group that coined the style. They're the ones that coined the genre. There's also another one that's really good that's called Thought Crime that made an album last year that's really good. They're also kind of maybe called Cyber Grind and Sasscore as well. And then another really good Sasscore group is called Blow Up. They're really good. They're a really good group. Blow Up. They also kind of combine like electronic music with screamo and stuff like that. Wikipedia always gets genres wrong because anyone can edit it. Right? Your music is way more accurate. Yeah, that's probably true. I get a lot of my information from Wikipedia though. That's where I get most of my news and stuff. And I guess just the reason why I guess I don't really want to make this political is just because when I think of Wikipedia, you're right. You're right about the genre thing. And obviously they can't be right about everything. You're right on that. But if I view it this way, if there's things that are stuff that people would often edit, like if people go and edit something on Wikipedia, it's always just something like, this page sucks. This page is gay. This page is fucking retarded. Oh, look at me. I'm a page. Go gaga. I'm a baby pool. Well, it's always stuff like that. You can tell when it's edited. People aren't. It's very, very rare for someone to edit something and just put something that sounds believable. But here's the reason why I've always been really, really liked Wikipedia and always used it as a source, even is because, and I mean, there's people who say anyone can edit it. There's a lot of articles, the ones that people will try to edit a lot, generally political stuff, will be locked, where only admins can do it. And I personally view Wikipedia as something that does not have a bias, because if you really want to get some really accurate news and all that stuff, you don't want to get a source that has bias. Like even stuff like CNN has a bias and Fox News has a bias. And there's some ones that have larger biases than other ones, you know? But with Wikipedia, it's like they're not going to, if something bad happens, no matter if you're right wing or left wing, they're going to tell you the truth, you know? Like they can't just make up conspiracy theorists or theories or shit like that, you know? Same, it's a useful site, but it definitely needs to be taken care of more. Yeah, that's true. Ever watched Nine Inch Nails' Closure? I have not, but I've heard of it. I've heard of it, but I have not watched it though. But I have watched the Broken like film they did, like the one where it was basically like it was very, very disturbing. Like it was basically like a snuff film or something. I have not seen Closure though, but I have seen the Broken like film. I have seen that, but that's it though. Out of their films, I just heard. The only reason I wanted to watch it is because when I was really getting into Nine Inch Nails, I heard that they made a film called Broken, based off the EP, and I just heard that it was very, very, very dark and just very, very like messed up and like fucked up, and I just was curious and I just wanted to see it, and it's a very disturbing little short film. Like it has like these snuff film vibes, and there's this one part that's really creepy. I don't know if you want. Oh, okay, I won't tell. But there's this one part that was so freaking like disgusting that I remember being in it. But I won't tell you what it is. I'm not sure exactly where you can watch it though. Not sure. I wonder if it's on this site. Probably not. Yeah, it's not. Huh. It's probably somewhere you can watch it, I'd imagine. But it's actually a pretty good. It's good though. It's very well made. It's very creative. It's just pretty disturbing. There's some stuff in it, I guess, that maybe doesn't age well. There's a green screen thing that's a little cheesy, but I think it works pretty well as an art film, I think, personally. Not something I want to see a second time, though. That's just me, though. There's one person. That was just one person watching. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Gunther? Hey, Gunther. Hey, Gunther. How you doing, man? Good. At least can you show us your Death Grips CDs, please? I don't know, that bald dude gave out 2 10s, but I'm still waiting for an album I like. Oh yeah, because he gave he gave Center Get Ready a 10. I was so happy about that. I was so happy he gave that a 10, but I disagree so much on the Spelling album though. But I do enjoy that album. I think it's good, but I don't think it's worthy of a 10. Like I personally don't think it's worthy of a 10, but I do think it's a good album though. It's not my top 10 of the year. It is in my top probably 15 or so, but I do not think it deserves a 10. It's probably an 8 to me. Like the album, I'd probably give an 8. But I can show you my Death Grip CD collection. Hold on. So this one is The Powers That Be, which is my favorite they did. Jenny Def and NOTM. They come with 2 booklets. Hold on. So this is the booklet of NOTM. At least thanks for the spelling thing. It was so underwhelming for me. Ignota definitely was better. Yeah, that's true. If he does the end of the year list, I really hope Ignota one's going to be album of the year. But it sounds like he really, really, really loved that spelling album from the review. He said that he gave it. He said he wanted to give it. He gave it a 10 indefinitely or something. It sounds like that is like one of the favorites, one of his like best records he's ever listened to, of recent years. It almost made it sound like he just sounded like he really, really, really enjoyed it. He said he loved every second of it or something. I'm like, I don't know if I get that far, man, but oh well. At least, I don't know if I ever did that moment. Okay. But he can like what he wants. He can like whatever he likes. That's fine. I think the one I disagree with the most, well, actually probably the spelling one. Spelling one is probably the one I disagree with the most, but I really don't agree with the Kids See Ghost one. I do think Kids See Ghost is good, but I do not think it's worthy of a 10. It's probably worthy of a 9 for me. But I will say I do think it's one of Kanye's best. And it's definitely a better collaborative project than Watch the Throne. Indefinitely. Definitely better than Watch the Throne. I was actually kind of worried it would be like another Watch the Throne, because I think Watch the Throne, until Jesus is King, was his weakest. But I don't know. Let's see. There's some more Death Grips releases that I got here. I will, yeah, you guys wanted me to, I actually forgot about that, I'm sorry, but you wanted me to show my Death Grips vinyl collection. I shall do that. Maybe some point, maybe sometime soon or so. And also, one thing about spelling is my favorite song off of it is probably Boys at School, but that song, Little Deer, has been stuck in my head, like ever since I listened to it. Like, every time I think of that album, I always hum that, like, Little Deer, dead of winter, dead of eve, little deer will marry me, or whatever. I just think that song's really catchy. Okay. He got it on vinyl already. He seems really happy about it. That's cool. So he can like what he wants, but he said in his review that if you can appreciate her voice, you probably can get into a lot of stuff, which I thought was was a bullshit statement. Yeah, I guess so. This one is The Money Store. which obviously you guys already know. This is their most popular release by far. Money Store. And yeah. It was at one point when I was really getting into music, this was my favorite album ever. Believe it or not. Which I don't know what you do. It's my second favorite album they did. If you count Jenny Depp and the NOTM though, then Jenny Depp is my favorite, then NOTM, and then this, I guess you could probably say. And then probably Ex-Military, then Steroids, and then probably I don't know, probably No Love Deep Web, then You're the Snitch, and then no, I'm sorry. Okay. My favorite is probably probably Bottomless Pit, then No Love Deep Web, and then You're the Snitch, and then probably Government Plates. Ex-Military is better. I have to disagree with that. I used to really not like Ex-Military that much. It used to be one of my least favorites, but it's really grown on me as of recent, though. I'd say it's, in my opinion, I think it's their third best. In my opinion, I think it's their third best, but that's just me. Ex-Military is great, though. I would give Ex-Military a perfect score if I were to read it, though. Now, at one point, I wasn't really all that big on it. I think the reason why is because there's so many like memes behind it, and on some of the songs, I felt like because he screamed so much louder on those releases, and at times it felt like they seemed like obnoxious at some points, and I don't know. I went from, it was kind of like with Jenny Depp, where I went love Jenny Depp, and then I grew off of it a bit, and now I absolutely love it and think it's their best, and it's probably my favorite album ever, if I had to say. And then with Ex-Military, I absolutely loved it, and then it grew off me, and now I love it again. But this is You're the Snitch, and it does not come with a booklet, I don't believe. I don't think it does come with a booklet. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. This is one of my least favorite releases they did, but it's still great. I think it's still a great album, but it's one of my least favorites they did. Probably my second least favorite, I'd say, but it's still good. No Love Deep Web. Can't show you the front cover for obvious reasons. Found the remix of Tachyon that I actually like more than the original. Oh, really? It's really good and one of their most viewed videos. It's not official though. One song I really don't understand why people love so much was that, like, I still like the song. I like the song, but like I fuck the music, I make it come. I fuck the music with my serpent tongue. Whatever. He screams so loud in that song. I remember not liking that song, but I like it now. And actually, I remember not really liking Tachyon. I mean, I don't think I always liked Tachyon, actually. I don't know. I really like the song Culture Shock. That's a really good one. And Beware is great. And I remember not really liking I Wanted, I Need It, but that song is actually it's a very weird and sexual song, but it's actually quite well written. He's songwriting wise, Stefan was actually like really like, I think he reached his peak in songwriting on Ex-Military. Like Beware's lyrics are absolutely fantastic, I think. Like, the lyrics to Beware are really good. But I think production-wise, I think they sound a lot better and catchier on albums like A Money Store. And I think they sound a lot better, like they're a lot more experimental and unique sounding on Jenny Depp and NOTM, I personally think. Here's Bottomless Pit. This came out in 2016. I was really excited to get this one. It came out in 2016. Okay, now anyways, let's go read the comments now. Okay. He got it. All right. I found this. All right. Haven't really gotten into their later albums. Powers to Be was a bit much for me. That's all right, but I love the Powers to Be. It's one of my favorite albums ever. Can we call later? Yeah, we probably can. And probably for a bit. Probably can for a little bit. Okay, that's probably fine. My second favorite. Which ones? Wait, at least you can. Is Bottomless Pit is your second favorite? That's cool. Or where did I put the No Love Deep Web CD one? Or did I put it back without the freaking? Oh crap! All right, hold on. Better winter day. I'll have to go. I'm still finished cleaning up the kitchen. The calling sounds good with me. That's cool. That's good. I'll call you later. I love you. I'm only liking the first two in the mixtape. I thought No Love was a lot easier to put on since it's mainly synth driven. Yeah, No Love Deep Web is pretty electronic and kind of rave. I mean, Government Place is even more rave sounding, and Steroids is arguably even more rave sounding than that. And yeah, I can see what you mean. No Love Deep Web is definitely their darkest lyrically, though. I think it's very dark lyrically. I actually borderline feel like it should have a horrorcore, like primary or something. I always kind of wondered why Death Grips never. Why does Death Grips never get tagged as horrorcore? I mean, it's one thing because their lyrics are really violent and dark and stuff. You know, I feel like No Love Deep Web should have a horrorcore primary, secondary, because their music is very like violent and dark and stuff. You know. PP album. Yeah, that is true. It is the PP album. The PP album. I don't know. I only bring that up because, yeah. Oh, it does have some people have tried to vote horrorcore on it. I guess let me see if some songs have horrorcore as a secondary or primary, maybe. So I think "Come Up and Get Me." It's a pretty. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? No Love. Does that have? Oh, it does have a horrorcore secondary. No Love does. But I definitely think "Come Up and Get Me" should have a horrorcore secondary. World of Dogs has a horrorcore secondary. Lock Your Doors has a horrorcore secondary. Why does it not have a horrorcore secondary then if it has all these horrorcore tags on it? Your Games does not. Deep Web. Stockton probably should. Deep Web has a horrorcore secondary. Stockton. No, Stockton does not. I don't know. Pop, probably not. Bass Rattle, Stars Out the Sky, probably not. Artificial Death in the West, I would definitely can't see that one having it, but yep, definitely not. Yep. Death Grip Mafia Core. Do you have a favorite Primus album? Probably Sailing the Seas of Cheese. It's probably my favorite release they did is probably Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Then probably Frizzle Fry. I think it's mainly just Sailing the Seas of Cheese just because that's the album that got me into him. So I really, really love that song, like Jerry's a Race Car Driver. That's just the album that kind of got me into him. So probably Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Then probably Frizzle Fry. Frizzle Fry is really good too. That's actually the only CD owned by him is Sailing the Seas of the Cheese, but it's actually just because it's one of the CDs my dad owned and gave to me. Yeah, Les Claypool is a freaking amazing bass player. Like he has a very, very just unique, very unique, doesn't sound like anything else, anyone else, like style of bass playing. Like even people who I would personally like, even people who like said like, I don't know, like don't really like fuck with that like alternative metal, funk metal kind of scene in the 90s. I would say most people would probably agree that Les Claypool is one of the greatest bassists of all time. I'd probably say he's a really good bassist. Tried to get into Primus, but the melodies don't stand out to me. It's more about the bass and weirdness, I guess. Always preferred Ween and Mr. Bungle as far as weird band goes. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Ween is really good, especially Quebec. I think that's their best. And California by Mr. Bungle is a fantastic album. Like Mr. Bungle and Ween are both weird. And actually, Ween actually does sadder and more serious albums actually really well, surprisingly, for being such a weird group. And Quebec is one of their more serious albums, but I think it's a really good album. It's my favorite they did. There's some really good. Quebec's a really good album. I love Quebec. It's so good. Yeah, it really is. Quebec's amazing. But California by Mr. Bungle, I think I mentioned this in my Mr. Bungle review, but there's never an album I listen to that has such a diverse set of genres and just like is like has such a diverse set of genres, all these genres that are nothing alike, have nothing in common. I mean, some of them do, but like genres like surf rock and lounge and cocktail and like pop rock mixed with avant-garde experimental music, metal, like punk and all these other genres, they sound so good together. They somehow made them sound good, like they belong together, and just they mix in so well. There's not really another album I think that does that. And there's parts of the album that sound so pretty. There's some parts that sound so like darker and heavy. And it's a really pretty album. Surprisingly, it's a really beautiful album at times. And when it's humorous, the humorous makes sense, I guess. Metal elements are really good too. It's just a really good album. Doesn't sound like anything else. Think, Mark. Think. I have not seen. I'm trying to remember what's that show called. I forgot what it's called. I haven't seen that show. I've heard of it though. I'm trying to remember what it's called though. It's an Amazon Prime. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Invincible? Yeah, that's what it's called. I have not seen it though, but maybe I'll watch it at some point. I don't know. I wanted to watch The Boys. Invincible, yeah. I used to dislike Ween because I heard their early stuff and was confused while they were acclaimed. Then I heard the Mollusk in Quebec and I got that they were. You know how I got into Ween was actually I remember I listened to the song Ocean Man by Ween from the album The Mollusk, and I remember hearing that in the SpongeBob movie, but I guess maybe it was nostalgia, but I listened to that song nonstop for weeks. I still love that song Ocean Man. And then I started listening to the Mollusk and I listened to Quebec, and that's how I got into them. Let's see what I was going to say. And you know what's funny is when I really got into Ocean Man, that was actually around, it just so happened, it was just a coincidence, but this is when the Ocean Man song became a meme like a month or so later. It just so happened I really got into the song a month before it really became a meme or something, I guess, which was interesting. I'm not sure why that was, but I'm kind of glad it became a meme because it's a good song. It's a really good song. A song Ocean Man is. Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean Man. The voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean Man, secrets of the lifelong ways in the sand. Looking up the first of the land, Ocean Man. Steven Hillenberg was based off for putting Ocean Man in this wonder, maybe introducing a whole new generation to weird greatness. Yeah, that's true. I think Steven Hillenburg was a really big fan of Ween, creator of SpongeBob. And I think I heard that the mollusk was actually an inspiration for the movie. I think I heard, or the show. But Ween actually made some songs for SpongeBob, like that Loop De Loop and Pole. They actually made that song for him for the show. Someone's stomping around. All right, what was I gonna say? Is that your tail wagging? Hey, bud. Hi. Hey, Gunther. 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 Hey, Gunther. What was I going to say? I'm trying to remember what I was saying. What was I going to say? F, yeah. Rest in peace, Steven Hillenburg. I was really upset when he died. Anyways, I don't know. Pantera always made a song for SpongeBob. Also made a song for SpongeBob. All these bands liking SpongeBob is so funny. Yeah. I haven't listened to. I think maybe I haven't listened to them once, but I think Pantera is good. I'd say. I think they're kind of overrated, but I think they're one of the greatest groove metal bands easily, though. I'd say. I don't listen to a lot of groove metal though, but I think they're definitely one of the, like, them and Machine Head are one of the best groove metal bands in my eyes. That Sound of Alma is true. What the hell is this thing in my mouth? I don't know. Any albums you're planning to get soon? I ordered None So Vile by Cryptopsy. I ordered the vinyl of that. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a classic technical death metal album from Quebec. It's like a brutal death metal album as well. It's really good. You should definitely listen to it if you like death metal. And then also I still have that the like Polar Equals, that new Sweet Trip album. I ordered that on vinyl. It's still coming at some point. And then also I ordered the new Civilization 1 and 2 compilation vinyl. Actually, I was one of the people that ordered the black one before it sold out, like the one with the black cover. Like, it sold out in like 5 minutes or so. I was one of the ones that got it. I pre-ordered that. That one should come September. So. Pantera are overrated, but they're definitely the best of their genre. Machine Head's Rob Flynn has an annoying voice. Yeah, None So Vile is amazing. Really good pick for vinyl. Yeah, it's a really good album. The intro bass / scream on Phobophile makes me hype every time. I think the beginning of the album is a sample from The Exorcist 3, which I haven't seen. And the last sample on the outro is like a sample from one of the Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness, the third one, like a line from it or something like that. I haven't seen Exorcist 3. All I know is that it was one of the movies that Jeffrey Dahmer, like the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, would show. Like, it was one of his favorite movies, and like people who have become his victims, he had them watch the movie with him and stuff like that. Or I don't know. That's all I know about it. Slit Your Guts is probably my favorite off of it, if I had to say. The bass on that album is really good too, actually. Another really good Canadian technical death album is Obscura by Gorguts. That's a really good one too. Which I own that one. That one's a lot more experimental and avant-garde, and None So Vile is a lot heavier. And on Cryptopsy, the vocalist sounds like Scooby-Doo. And on Gorguts, the vocalist sounds like Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Cryptopsy is probably my... All right. Still waiting for new Def Grips album. I don't know if it's going to come. Might not. I don't know. It's sad, but I don't know. There's a possibility. I think Def Grips might never release something again. I hope that's not true, but I don't know. Cryptopsy is probably my favorite death metal band now. Their first two albums are really crisp and inventive. Everything after is big poo poo though. I like their first album's really good too. It's definitely not as good as None So Vile, but it's good. I hate Obscura. I don't get it. I love Obscura. I personally think Obscura is great, but I can see people not getting it. It's very different. It's very experimental and very, very different sound, I guess. But I think it's really good. I think it's a very interesting, unique sounding album, I think. Really, really interesting vocals too. It's vocals I don't think I've heard in any other Def Grips. I mean, the vocalist sounds like Patrick Star, but it sounds good still. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I like Obscura. I think it's good. My favorite death metal band though is probably Def. It was that or Contrastic, which is a death grind group from the Czech Republic. They're really good too. They're a really good death grind or death metal band. Always liked Model in the Well and Psy more in avant-garde metal. Psy is really good. I love Model in the Well too, but Psy is probably my favorite Japanese metal band. If I had to say, Psy is great. I absolutely love Psy. And Model in the Well is really good too. I think I like Leaving Your Body Map more than Bath though. They came out the same day. They should have been a double album. I think they came out the same day. They're both great albums, but I don't know. Leaving Your Body Map, I think I prefer over Bath, though. And a favorite Japanese band, Boris. My favorite Japanese band is probably Fishman's, but Boris is a metal band. So my favorite Japanese metal band is Psy, and then my favorite Japanese band in general is Fishman's. Actually, maybe I like Boris. I think Boris is more consistent with albums, but Imaginary Sonicscapes is my favorite Japanese metal album, though. Definitely. Psy better than Boris? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Boris is probably better, but I think Imaginary Sonicscape is better than any Boris album, in my opinion, at least. But Boris is great. I love Boris. I think my favorite release they did is the Rock Dream live album with Merzbow. That album's great. That's a great live album. I actually got the CD, but it only came with one CD. It didn't come with two. And then the one CD that it came with was scratched. I never returned it, though. I got it returned at some point. That's why I never did an unboxing video on it. Fair, I like that album, but Flood and Pink are top notch. Yeah, Flood's great. I think I prefer Feedbacker over Flood, though, and Pink, I guess. Flood's great, too. I have the CD of Flood, and I have the vinyl of Feedbacker. I actually have the poster